So here we are, 19 hours into a 48-hour challenge. We're only 5 hours away from halfway, and there's a whole bunch of things happening here. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've just got to add so many walls, or I've got to take some walls away, and I've got to dig up concrete, and I've got to do all these sort of things. It just wouldn't be possible to convert my property. Well, one thing I can tell you is that we don't do that. We don't knock down walls. We don't change the insides of the house other than additions. We just take larger spaces and make them smaller so we can have a better outcome. How about I show you what it looks like? So here we are in this space here, and you're thinking, well, I wouldn't know how to design this, or I've just taken away the space from the house. Now remember, in this house, I'm a small space specialist, right? I'm actually built small so I can think small, and in what I do and what I teach people, I design places so that they have better usages. Every person in this house has their own sitting room, so they actually don't really need a massive lounge room, which is what this was. So ultimately, you look at this space and you go, okay, well now we've got a usable space on the other side, which is private to someone, but in here we've still got a full working kitchen. Design is a really simple thing to choose, and we've got teams all over the country. You don't have to worry about doing it yourself, because that's the exact thing I need to tell you. Okay, so we just heard Ruth come in through the front door, and why don't we just ask her what she thinks of the changes that she's been out while she's been getting some stuff from Bunnings. And I can tell you there's been some substantial changes in just a few hours.
So when Damien and I were planning it, I was a little bit overwhelmed by the thought of it and didn't really know how we'd start or where we'd plan. Not knowing or not experiencing anything like this before, or not being a builder or a designer or any of those things that these guys clearly are. I thought maybe I'd be painting or doing something like that. I literally have walked in, and I think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I left at 6:30 this morning for a 5-minute run for coffees or protein balls for Ian. And I think walking in and seeing the plan and the new doors and the 2 walls, which I really couldn't get my head around, yeah, you can actually see the mini apartments that they actually are off the plan, and yeah, it's awesome. I'm just blown away.
So what's the message? What's the takeaway? You don't need to have your own designers, your own builders. You don't actually have to do it yourself. You don't have to do a whole bunch of things. We've got a team all the way around us that can support you and help you that. And people are saying, well, this strategy is so hard. It's actually very simple. It's just a system and process put together so that you can follow it and have an outcome that doubles your income, whilst at the same time providing really great accommodation for people to live with 1/3 to 1/2 saving off their normal weekly rent. Everyone wins out of what we do.